everybody. It's Monday night. I'm Uriah with Lucas, Ben, and Maurice. NBA Now and Then, the greatest comparisons. Tonight, it's pretty simple. We're going to go back and look at every comparison that we did for season two. And then we're going to, I hear an echo.
Who's got their live on?
Someone's got their
I
volume
was
up.
getting aggressive. Sorry, guys.
It only took 2
It's gonna
minutes.
happen.
It only took
It's
2
okay.
minutes.
Look. It's okay. Look, we
Yeah.
had our goof ups when me and Maurice went live for our other podcast. It's okay. It happens.
Yeah. So as I was saying, we're gonna preview season three after we review season two, and let's get right to it, guys. Let's do the first comparison from season two. Does anybody remember who that was?
I don't remember that, but I want to say my favorite episode from season 2 was the bloopers reel that we posted towards the end of season 2.
The blooper. Oh, there's
The
three or
16
four
minute,
of them.
the 16-minute one. Yeah, but that was our first comparison of season 2.
All right. So here's how it's going to go for those people who do not know. When we do our episodes, we do not pick or give our opinion about who's better or who we would choose over who. We leave that up to you guys. But in a season finale of every season, that's when we give our picks so you guys can know how we feel about the players, past and present. So as you can see right in front of us, we have D Wade and we have Anthony Edwards. If you were to have 10 years of equally good health of either player, but you had to pick them in a draft, the same draft class, who would you go with first? So I think Lucas, you're the youngin of the group. Who would you go with?
I'm going with the Flash himself, D Wade. Look, D Wade Prime is an MVP caliber player, and I'm not saying that Anthony Edwards isn't, but like we know what Dwayne Wade looks like carrying a team to the finals, and he did it in less years than Anthony Edwards has at this point. No shade though.
All right, that's fair.
I'm gonna go Anthony Edwards solely because of age. I don't even think he's 24 yet. I think he'll be 24 in August.
That is a good point. D Wade came into the league as like a junior.
Yeah. I mean, he was still like 20. Now he was like 21, 22, and he was obviously really polished because of those years at Marquette. He took his team to Final Four. The college was a little more competitive back then. But I would say Anthony Edwards because every year he's gotten better, and this year he was the best. He was technically the best 3-point shooter as far as like attempts and
That
made.
is wild.
Yeah, which is kind of. I mean, obviously it's Steph Curry, but you know what I mean. The motion made, and so I really see that in his game. That was kind of a knock on his game, even as the number one pick. So I think him barely being 24, he's made 2 Western Conference Finals on kind of, in my opinion, not the best rosters. So he's leading that team. So I would take Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, that's fair.
When you look at, you can't look at Anthony Edwards' career in totality because he's still young, but he did take 2 teams to a conference finals. But with that said, though, I'm still going to go D Wade just because I've seen it. You know, he's proven himself already. He's a Hall of Famer. I mean, that's kind of like what we do. We compare the legends from the past to the great players of today. So Anthony Edwards isn't a legend yet, but right now I'm going to take D Wade.
Yeah. I mean, the Ant-Man could become it. They're both superhero nicknames too, so I like that.
Look, I love D Wade. I think D Wade is a great ambassador for the game. He's really branched out and done other things outside of basketball. I love D Wade. However,
wow,
Ant is just so much fun to watch. And like Ben said, he's been getting better every year. And his 3-point volume, just when you didn't think it could go to the next level, his shooting has improved. His handles, I think, are a tad bit better than D Wade. Athletically, does he have more hops than D Wade? I don't know. Maybe they should get in the gym.
I think D Wade's definitely quicker. I think D Wade was definitely quicker.
Anthony Edwards has put more guys on a poster than D Wade has in his whole career.
Yeah, no, that's
a good point.
And real quick before we go, it just popped in my mind. For the comic book guys out there, Ant-Man, Flash.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah. They're both.
Oh yeah, see,
and
the fact that we have a split decision shows that this was a good comp.
And for the media guys, Anthony Edwards is a great actor, and Dwayne Wade carries himself really well. He's a great host. So These guys have a future beyond.
Dwayne Wade is married to a great actress.
Yeah,
Gabrielle Union. Yeah,
and Anthony Edwards is a low key really good actor. He was
good at
really
Hustle.
he was really good in that.
he was fantastic in Hustle.
Yeah, his
He
comedic
seemed
timing
natural.
was great. Yeah.
All right, so our first episode of season 2 was D Wade and Anthony Edwards, as you can see. The second episode of this season is 2 great power forwards. Both have a lot in common when it comes to the offensive game. Similar height, similar expectations coming out of Europe, which was kind of pretty low. I know Lucas likes to talk about that. But Lucas, who would you go with if you had to choose between these 2 players? I think there's a no-brainer.
It's Dirk.
We could probably y'all just say, all right, let's just go with Dirk and keep moving. But
Look, I mean, Lowry had a really down year. He needs to bounce back. Honestly, I think there's a decent chance he gets traded this year. He has a contract. Utah's in full rebuild now. They traded away all their veterans. I suspect that they'll try to rebuild some of his value, but I fully expect him to get traded at some point, either during the season or at the end of next season.
Okay. Yeah, he it's interesting when people do the trade machine, his value probably went down the most. I mean, he was looking at like 5 first-round picks last summer, I remember.
And that now you might be able to get him for like some role players and first.
At first, exactly. And so I think it's more like his situation. He's just on a rebuilding team in Utah. They just drafted a guy kind of in his position at 5. And so I think he'll be traded. I think it's going to be Dirk Nowitzki just because he can do a little more with the ball.
I think Dirk was just more clutch too. I mean,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
he played a lot longer though. He played almost 20 years.
He created an unguardable move that players today still use.
I think he had some guard skills that I don't think Laurie really has. Laurie's more of a stretch 4. He can play the 3, but I think Dirk has like bigger guard skills.
When we recorded this episode, Ben, you were really high on Lowry Markkanen. You were saying you still think he has all NBA potential?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he sort of needs to just not be on that team. I mean, if you kind of put any all-star, all-NBA player in that situation, it would be a similar situation with that roster and just the mindset of like them wanting to tank. It's just tough if you're – because he was an all-NBA player, right?
Yeah.
He made the all –
so.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the skill's there. So he made a big leap when he left from Chicago.
Question is, where does he get moved? I don't know right now.
Hmm.
I can think of one team that I know Ben wants him to go to.
Yeah,
let's just get it out the way. Ben, I think we just look behind Ben and say, all right.
Yeah.
Lowry on the Sixers.
For me, it's more the timeline because he's more in like the Maxey timeline. So I think going to the Sixers, but any contending team would want him. You kind of saw what happened with Porzingis, right? Porzingis was on like not great teams. And then the second he went to a contender and he was able to be like a third option. Some nights maybe the second, but really a third option. I think he's more in that Porzingis. I think he's better than Porzingis offensively, but I think he'd be more in that. So a team would really want to take a chance.
Okay, and I'm not just saying this because I'm wearing the hat, but like if you're Phoenix, do you think that Utah would take Jalen Green for him?
I think Jalen Green. Whoever they drafted at 10, probably Malawach.
They already have too many centers. I don't know. It's just an idea, but anyway, they don't have any draft picks to trade. So, let's keep on moving.
Maurice, what you have? Do you want to say anything about Dirk?
When we made this episode, I think we had more. We thought Markkanen would take another step forward, but he's kind of drowned this season with the Jazz.
Right.
But that's more of a franchise thing. They were just losing. They were kind of tanking. So we didn't get to see like the full potential of Markkanen. He definitely needs to go somewhere where, his talents can be a little bit more noticeable, a little bit more stayed out, a little bit more.
Yeah.
So Dirk. Dirk.
All right, moving right along. I think we all can say Dirk Nowitzki is the safe pick drafting. This one's gonna be tough. Okay, same draft. Who would you go with?
You got that image for Chris Paul too.
Yeah. Speaking of Chris Paul going
Yeah.
back home to the Clippers.
He's probably going to retire after this year, but it's a good homecoming for him.
I think he announced today this is his last year. Man, the Clippers
He did?
The Clippers, I think, will be really good this year. I'm going to start with that. I think
But will they perform in the playoffs?
Four rounds is going to be tough with that
With
age.
that old
They're
roster,
an old team, that's for sure.
Yeah.
To be fair, they upgraded from Ben Simmons to Chris Paul, so that's actually pretty good.
That's a huge upgrade.
Well, yeah, and their backup center is Brook Lopez.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
huge.
it's a good.
And they're a big team now too.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna if I was making an all point guard list, I think I'd have Chris Paul ahead of Jason Kidd. So that's where I'm gonna have him. Look, I just think that Jason Kidd, look, great guy. Could the knock on him, especially early on in his career, that he couldn't shoot, and by the time he got to be able to shoot, he lost all of his athleticism. So like, he was never true peak Jason Kidd because he couldn't do both at the same time. Chris Paul can still shoot at 40 years old. So like 39, 40. So like the guy's special, and he has the nickname Point God for a reason. So yeah.
So you go with CP. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Jason Kidd just because it's interesting you have that jersey, Uriah, the Nets, man. He that Nets team was pretty good. They got, killed by the Lakers. Shaq, and then they got killed by
Kobe.
the Spurs. Yeah, and then the Spurs. But they were a good team, and he was the leader of that team. He was really good on Phoenix and Dallas this first iteration. So he I think, because of his size, and there's a little bit more playmaking, but I would say the size gives me the slight edge, even though Chris Paul can shoot.
Oh, okay. So you're going Jason Kidd. Okay.
I'm going Jason Kidd, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm going Jason Kidd, yeah. But it's close, but I'm going Jason Kidd.
I'm gonna follow up with Ben as well. I'm gonna go Jason Kidd.
Wow.
At least he's won a championship.
Yeah. And then he's been to the finals a couple times.
Yeah.
Okay, but you could argue, going back to the size thing, you could argue that Chris Paul has been the better defender in his career. Has the more all defensive teams, right?
I think Jason Kidd was up for a defensive player. Like his defense was.
Kidd was a great defender too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's not. I'm just saying Chris Paul, for his size, pound for pound, outside of like what Mookie Blaylock.
I will say
the best small defensive guards that I can think of, right?
Of season
shout
2,
out Mookie Blaylock.
Mookie Blaylock, yeah.
You see, I know old players.
Anyone who's watching Chris Paul's accomplishments or like his accolades are unreal. He's one of the honestly like top 10, top 15 most decorated NBA
Well,
players.
that's what I'm saying. What is on your all-time point guard list? Who's higher, Chris Paul or Jason Kidd? Chris Paul is named the point guard for a reason. I have him higher on my list.
Well, is that the question you're on?
Nah, the question is who would you choose over who if they were in the same draft? You're basically building a franchise.
I'm taking Jason Kidd.
Jason
Sorry, Lucas. You can't change the narrative on this one.
Well, don't worry, Lucas, because I'm on your team. I actually think CP3, he's got the edge in shooting. He's just as good of a passer. No, I say Jason Kidd's a better passer, but handles-wise, J. Kidd cannot touch CP3, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the height thing, neither here nor there. If he didn't have the defensive awards that he has, I would go with Kidd, but I'm going CP3 on this one. So,
okay.
All right, let's go to the next comparison. That's episode 28. Anyone who is just watching us and joining us, we are comparing, looking at the different players from season 2 that we compared. We just did Jason Kidd and CP3. Now let's go to this was Lucas's comp, by the way. He had to really twist my arm on this.
I did.
Who would you go with? Would you pick Tim Duncan over Jokic, or would you pick Jokic over Duncan?
I think you're asking me for two guys that are arguably in the top 10 players of all time.
Yes.
Because I think, are we at the point where we can put Jokic in the top 10 now? Because Timmy's already there. Timmy's already there.
To narrow it down,
he's definitely top 20. I would say the 3 MVP.
I think he's top 15. At
well,
least.
narrow it down. They're top 5 in each position.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're top 5
I would
in
agree
both
with that.
center and power forward. So and people will say, "Oh, well, Tim's really a center." Well, guess what? He won. What was it? 4 out of the 5 championships playing power forward, so he's a power forward. Even 2007, which I had to argue with some coworkers with mine about. They were like, "Who was the center?" I was like, "What is it? Alberto Faricio Alberto, whatever his name was."
Yeah.
No, he still played power forward at least to begin the game, so he is a power forward. So the question is like, do you want more elite two-way play, or do you want elite like ungodly offensive skill? Like that's what this comes down to. Do you want two-way play, or do you want ungodly offensive skill? And if you guys remember during that episode, I said if Greg Popovich played the way that Mike Malone played, use Jokic like Tim Duncan like Jokic, Tim Duncan would probably have similar stats, because I think we all agree that Tim Duncan was a very underrated playmaker.
All right.
So I'm gonna go with a guy that can play on both sides of the ball, and I'm gonna go Tim.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna exactly what Lucas said. I remember going through this, and Tim Duncan as well on the defensive end. People don't really. He's so quiet, similar to Jokic, but on the defensive end, similar to Chris Paul, the all defensive teams are unbelievable. And
here's the other thing. Like during that period, you say, "Oh, KG is the best defensive power forward." I like if you just talk about it generally, but if you look at the stats, it's Tim Duncan.
I think KG had better individual seasons, but I think overall Duncan's consistency, just kind of on both ends, is what carried him through. I'm going Tim Duncan. This is interesting because he was I think he was an All-Star his rookie year. And he played all 4 years, but he was pretty young. He was like 21. So Tim Duncan was playing on like a top 10 NBA player level at 21, where Jokic kind of took a few years to develop to get there.
I think it was about his 5th or 6th season where he finally like 20 points per game.
Yeah, so I'm going to go on that, and then the defense. And Tim Duncan, I mean, you couldn't really take. I mean, maybe at the latter end of his career, but you couldn't really take advantage of him on defense like you can on Jokic.
Sorry, go ahead, Ben.
No, that's it. That's it. I get why we compare these two, because they kind of just go out there. They're really humble, and they play incredible team basketball. They just do whatever is required of them. And so, but I'm gonna go with the guy who's good on both ends. Tim Duncan.
And here's just one other argument before Maurice goes. Duncan, everybody says Tim Duncan's the greatest power forward of all time. Nobody says that Nikola Jokic is the greatest center of all time yet. Granted, his career is not over, but like I don't think he'll ever get that because he's not a defensive stalwart. But still, he's the greatest. Well, you could make the argument that he might become the greatest offensive center of all time. I don't think he's there yet, but he might become that anyway. Anyway,
I'm going to go. This is once again, Lucas. I'm going to refer to Uriah. The question is, who would you draft first? That is the question. I'm drafting Jokic first.
Wow.
Ooh, okay.
I'm drafting Jokic first.
Tim was the first overall pick. Jokic was the 42nd pick.
So
during a Taco Bell commercial.
Taco Bell commercial. Get on Taco Bell.
The scouts messed up on this one. They didn't evaluate Jokic right. I don't know, but I'm taking Jokic. The guy is I won't even say versatile, but just fundamentally, and he can completely change your offense. He completely change how you game plan for your other team's defense.
Right.
Tim Duncan, he was a good mid-range shooter. He was a great defender, great team player. Jokic is all those things. Minus the defensively. I mean, Jokic does kind of get a bad rap defensively. He's not terrible defensively. He just holds his ground. That's it.
Yeah.
He has to hold his ground. He can't get off of it.
Okay.
On that note, Maurice, I'm going to actually side with you.
Wow.
I'm going to go with Nikola Jokic. And I think, yes, Tim Duncan is a much better defender, but I think it kind of cancels out considering how superb a passer that Jokic is. And get ready for this. Jokic has done more with his teammates who have never been all-stars versus Tim Duncan, who's always had at least 2 Hall of Fame players. So Jokic is doing more with less, where not to take anything away from Duncan, but if I were to pick, I would actually go with Jokic.
And just side note, I want to talk about the Nuggets off season because they've had arguably one of the most underrated off seasons.
Okay.
They flipped Michael Porter Jr., who we can all say is a bad contract, right? The good player, bad contract, right? Kind of like a Tobias Harris type thing for our Sixers friends out there. And they flipped him for Cam Johnson, who costs $17 million less a year, and like basically was able to use that extra space to get Bruce Brown, who was Bruce Brown, who was a
Bruce had Tim Hardaway Jr. and Valanciunas,
and they were able to flip another former Sixer, Darius Saric, into Jonas Valanciunas. Yeah, look, their problem was depth. They've added depth. They've flipped. I think Cam Johnson is like a slightly better defender, but overall similar player. Maybe can do a little bit more than Michael Porter Jr. for a lot less.
He might be a little more durable too, because Porter Jr.
Obviously, durability is a plus there too. So
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next comparison. We are looking at each comparison from season 2. In episode 30, we compared Alonzo Mourning to Bam Adebayo. So again, sticking to the theme of this episode, we're looking at who we would draft over who if they were in the same draft. So who would you go with, Lucas?
I think we're all gonna say Alonzo Mourning here. If we don't, I'd be shocked on this one. He's 3 inches taller, 3 to 4 inches taller, better defender, just elite like rim runner / defender, has post moves. And at his peak, he was better than Bam has ever been up to this point.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we went through, I think Mourning was, I don't know if it was him. Was he runner-up for MVP one year?
I think when he was in Miami, he had like a really solid year.
Yeah, they had 1 or 2, maybe even 2 years where they won over 60 games. I remember that. It was like the Jordan. There was some of those bowl teams weren't 1 seeds. It was actually the Heat. And he was a big part of that, Tim Hardaway. I think his peak is significantly better. I think Bam shows flashes of being really good, but Mourning's, I think, just like dominance is so far. I mean, Bam, I think, hasn't played his best, so I think Bam's best is still to come. But I'd say this is kind of a no-brainer, Alonzo Mourning.
Bam's the 28-year-old. He's in his prime now. And just if we're using Maurice's, who would I draft higher? It's just like, from a prospect perspective, the only thing that Bam does better than Alonzo is like mid-range to possibly 3-point shooting, maybe.
Yeah.
And
maybe better passer. I think he might be a slightly better passer.
Slightly better passer, but like Bam's never been a top 3 center. Alonzo was a top 3 center for a good little chunk of his career.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think Alonzo Mourning is the right pick here. I think offensively, and that's more of a generational thing. 90s, coming out of Georgetown, Alonzo Mourning wasn't told or supposed to be shooting threes. So,
what center was?
Say again?
What center was allowed to shoot threes back then?
Sabonis.
He came from Europe.
Bill Laimbeer was clocking threes with the Pistons.
Yeah. One of the first.
Ball.
Yeah. Manute Bol, yeah.
Yeah. So
Mehmet Okur.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's a little bit after.
A little bit after.
Yeah, after. I'm gonna go with everybody else. Alonzo Mourning.
And I'm going against the grain. I'm going with Bam. I'll tell you why.
Why?
I think if you're talking about 10 years of good health and looking at the era now, he could play probably more positions in terms of defense.
Well, Mourning Bam has switched back and forth between center and power forward.
He's going to anchor the middle. And yes, he was a top center amongst Shaq and David Robinson and Patrick Ewing. But the versatility of Bam You cannot deny it. And he's an all-star, and he's been to the finals once or twice. I can't remember. Twice. So he has what it takes to help a team led by Jimmy Butler to that level. So, all right, let's move on to the next comparison. Let's go to Tyrese Maxey or John Wall. Who would we choose over who if we had to choose in a draft?
I mean, one guy was late first round pick, and the other guy was the top overall pick as a sensational player. Both could not shoot threes when coming out of college. If we're going by that standard,
same college.
Yeah, same college,
Kentucky.
And on paper, if we're going by the as a prospect, who would we want if not knowing about their careers? It's John Wall. Knowing their careers,
no, we do know their careers.
Okay.
We know who they're going to be.
Ooh, this is tough.
10 years of John Wall, perfectly good health.
So here's my thing. I think these players are who I draft is very much dependent on what my roster looks like. Because they're not the same. Maxey's a combo guard. John Wall's a true.
I think that's one factor we really can't control. It's really all about who would you pick, knowing you would have 10 years of good health. And so you're going with John Wall, Lucas?
Oh God.
You know what? Let me throw a curveball. Let me go and then come back to Lucas.
Okay, yeah.
10 years. Did we even get a good 10 years of John Wall?
No.
How many good years of John Wall?
6 or 7?
6 to 7. Yeah.
Before the injury started to catch up.
Right.
Yeah. So we got about 7 years. Yeah.
Maybe about 8. I think he was a 2010 draft.
Yeah, 2010, 2018 is where it really went downhill. I'm going to say Tyrese Maxey has not been the franchise player yet. He's not been the number one guy on a team that has won yet. John Wall was that guy.
But he didn't do anything, though.
What has Maxey done yet? I say yet because I believe that he can take that.
That's fair. That's fair, but when John Wall was the franchise, and let's not get it
They got to the second round.
John Wall was top 3 point guard at one point in time.
Maxey has never been a top 3 guy. So let's
and John Wall's a 2010 guy.
I'm going to say John Wall.
So okay, go ahead, Ben.
No, this is a tough one. I'm kind of with Lucas. It's like what you need. I'm gonna actually pick Maxey.
I'm not surprised
because of the shooting. Yeah, I know. The shooting. But if I needed a point guard really, really bad, it's John Wall because of the playmaking.
Right.
But his shot, I think, never really reached a level where Tyrese Maxey was able to improve. So I'm going to take Maxey. I think Maxey will keep improving, and he has every year.
Yeah.
And so, hopefully he'll take that playmaking leap that every fan and Sixers fan wants. Yeah. But I think, and then the durability, I mean, we don't know. But
we said 10 years of good health.
Yeah.
Regardless. Yeah.
So I'm gonna pick Maxey, but it's close.
Look, I think John Wall. I think you can build a team around John Wall to where his lack of elite shooting. He was a willing shooter. He shot like around 33% for his career. I think, just pulling that out of the air. So it's not like he's a horrendous shooter, but like you can build a team around that to where he can still be maximized if he's your number one guy. Now, granted, he never averaged more than like 20, 21 points per game, so that is not great. But like, I don't know.
So I have a flashback because we recorded this episode. We compared these two players months ago, I think back in September. And I distinctly remember doing the research on these guys. And I love learning new details about how they grew up. And obviously Maxey came out of Kentucky and he was dealing with COVID. And Ben always points out that draft was tough because there was really not a lot of footage in the NCAA tournament because there was none. So Maxey overachieved. He made it to the level of All-Star where he is now. And his dad had a stroke in college. So you look at what he had to go through during probably the toughest point of his life as a youngster. And then John Wall was suicidal, right? When he was having his injury problems and people were writing him off and talking stuff about him because of his contract.
Mom. And his mom.
And his mom passed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but all that said, that was an interesting comparison. They're two of the fastest guards of their era, but I'm going to go with John Wall just because I think he's a better facilitator and his passes. Remember, he patterned his game after Magic Johnson, and when you watch him play, he has Magic Johnson or had it potential to play like Magic. So I would build around
I guess the question is
John Wall.
John Wall would still be okay. Was John Wall whenever we do our Mount Rushmore of point guards in the 2010s, which I'm assuming would be season 4, but I don't know. John Wall has a real argument to be one of the 3 that are solidified, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, like you got Steph, you got James Harden. Well, then you have Russell Westbrook, right?
Chris Paul.
Like John Wall might not. We talk about how elite he was, and he was elite, but like he might not even make the Mount Rushmore of the decade that he.
Damian Lillard, yeah, he would.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this because I didn't pick. I'm going to go John Wall. If we're getting 10 years of good health, and we've already seen 5 years of Tyrese Maxey, had pretty good health. He had a couple games off. Actually, a lot of games off last season. But anyway, we just still see 4 good years, and we've seen, as Sixers fans, we've seen his progression from rookie season where he was afraid to take threes and
Doc Rivers didn't want him taking threes. That's what that was about.
Yeah, that's crazy. So
I miss the old Tyrese Maxey haircut. I do not like the.
I agree.
I don't like the cornrows.
Braids. I like braids. But
I like the braids. I don't like the cornrows.
I think his head is too round. I don't know. I can't put.
Yeah, give me John Wall. Give me John Wall for 10 years.
Yeah,
much better than Tyrese Maxey.
John Wall with cornrows.
No. Just give me John Wall for 10 years.
You're right. You should make a John Wall with cornrows AI thing for social media.
Oh, I definitely will. Oh, did you guys see the one I made for Kobe?
Yeah, that was weird. Charlotte? That was weird.
He had the cornrows and he had the tattoos. By the way, side note, please don't make the mistake that I made. I was going down the rabbit hole on basketball and Kobe, and someone said that the autopsy report was available publicly for the helicopter crash. There's no photograph, but do not look at it. It is gruesome. Please, I can't. I had nightmares about it. It was that bad. But anyway,
it was so gruesome that the written autopsy was so gruesome that it gave you
it gave me nightmares. And I can't look I have to not look at Kobe highlights for the next 2 weeks. It's that rough. And it's real.
Why would you tell us this? Because now I'm curious.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
I don't.
Please. Ben, please. Let's
talk about it. I'm not going to look into that.
Yeah. All right. So for people who are just joining us on Twitter and YouTube, we are reviewing season 2 of NBA Now and Then. We're looking at all of our comparisons, and we are trying to figure out who we would pick if both of the players now and then were in the same draft. So we're going to episode 32. We have Charles Barkley. We have Zion Williamson, who, full disclosure, both have had or have issues off the court, but we're focusing strictly on their game. And you get 10 years of good health with both players.
Ooh.
So here we go.
Yeah, no.
It's tough.
Ooh, that's tough.
This is tough.
Is it?
No, it's not tough.
I mean, we've seen Zion at his peak, right? Like when he's actually healthy for a good stretch of games, and Charles Barkley, at least as far as I remember, never was really I don't even know if he was a good 3-point shooter, but certainly not.
He was capable.
Yeah.
Once again, you're in a different generation.
Yeah.
For me, I'll let Lucas go first. But
I don't know. No, you go first. I don't know.
I'm gonna go Charles. Kind of some of the Duncan thing where it's the defense is there, the rebounding. Zion, I'll say this. In the play-in game, they played the Lakers, and he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It was a year.
He was about to win that game for them, by the way.
But he was significantly. This is a game with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. He was significantly the best player in that game, and he was he ended up getting hurt in the fourth. I think he would have had close to 50 points. But when he's locked in and healthy, he's unstoppable. It's unbelievable. But I would say the durability is a big factor. Charles Barkley led the NBA in rebounds for a few seasons. He also was a good defender. He was and Charles Barkley would be really playable now because he was a switchable guy. He could technically guard 1 through 5 in a way that you see more now.
Yeah.
But he was kind of the OG of that. Pippen would do it too, but Barkley could really defend a center at 6'5", 6'6". And so for me, it's a no-brainer, Charles Barkley, not even being a homer with the Sixers.
He couldn't guard Shaq.
He kind of could a little bit, but
so Shaq started swinging on him.
Nobody could guard.
Nobody
Shaq. Let's
could
get
guard
that
Shaq.
out the way.
Even Mutombo, who was the defensive player of the year that year, just
Ben Wallace kind of did.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, I got my answer. I'm going to go with Ben here. It's Charles, just for the two-way play. But I, like Ben noted, I do want to know when Zion is focused in, he's on that Giannis Antetokounmpo level where nobody can physically stop him.
Yeah,
when he is lasered in offensively, it's just that Charles Barkley is a more rounded player. Like Charles could be stopped. Let's be clear. Charles had his limitations offensively. Like he's not as he was never as strong as Zion. Like Zion should be playing football. Like let's be clear.
Tight end.
Center. Maybe defensive end. I'm saying defensive end.
Yeah, defensive end. I can see that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think Chuck. That Chuck, just more for the overall well-rounded play.
It's no brainer for me too. It's Charles Barkley. Like we've seen Charles Barkley in his peak could have been MVP multiple seasons if it wasn't for Michael Jordan.
Right.
And if we gain 10 years of full health of Zion compared to Barkley, I want the determination and the heart of Barkley over what Zion could possibly give me. And that goes beyond statistics.
Yeah, like we don't really know
skill.
Like Zion, like we've only seen him really locked in once.
Yeah. I was leaning Zion just because around the rim, but Charles Barkley around the rim was also very.
Charles
efficient.
had more post moves,
and
Zion's really kind of under.
I think Zion. I think in the open court, he's probably a better finisher than Barkley, even though Barkley could handle the ball better. Barkley had a better jump shot in terms of form. Zion still has that weird, I don't know, he's just got a weird jump shot for him. But I think this is a consensus. I think we're all going Barkley. All right, episode 33, we compared Paul George and Tracy McGrady. So who are we taking if they're in the same draft?
So the question is, do you want Pete Grady for 6 years, or do you want I know we're doing health for. I guess if we're doing health, it's McGrady.
You going T-Mac?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me too. It's gonna be
T-Mac was
Indiana Paul George really good, and so is Oklahoma City Paul George.
But
that's a huge what if, because what if he didn't destroy his leg?
I think Tracy McGrady's he was leading the NBA in scoring. I think his ability to
he should have gotten an MVP.
Yeah,
at their best, both of them at their best. I just can't foresee Paul George being as good as Tracy McGrady was.
Yeah.
Now Paul George, if we're gonna do the defense thing, Paul George is significantly better than Tracy McGrady.
I wouldn't say significantly.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I don't know about significantly.
Did McGrady...
In his peak, I think so. Paul George is really good at defense in his peak. He was one of the best, arguably the best small forward outside of Kawhi for a number of years defensively.
That's fair. I would just counter to say McGrady had to do so much on offense for so many years, he couldn't worry about defense.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Tracy McGrady though, just because of I think the scoring ability, and if you watch his highlights, it's unbelievable. So I'm gonna go Tracy McGrady. I think he just wasn't on great teams, so he didn't make it out, and some bad luck with health in Houston. But yeah, Tracy McGrady for me.
Yeah, I have one regret about this episode. I think Ben was not there. I wish he could have been part of this episode. And B, I think I chose the wrong art image to send to the artists that I hire for these images. I should have gotten the Paul George with the Pacers jersey on. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Or Oklahoma City.
This throws us.
I
this
think
throws us off a little.
I say Clippers. I say Clippers or Pacers.
Yeah. It's funny. Like when we compared these players in episode 33 of season 2, NBA Now and Then, it was so interesting how polar opposite they were coming out of high school. Yeah, Tracy McGrady in Florida. Everybody wanted him, like every school. And then Paul George, small school out in Cali, like wasn't getting any traction in terms of recruitment, but they ended up becoming NBA stars. Always in the way, though, there was like always one player higher than them. Kobe for T-Mac, and then obviously LeBron was in the East, kind of getting in the way of what Paul George was trying to do. But I think we have another consensus, right? Nobody picked Paul George. No. Okay. All right. Episode 34. Who would we pick in a draft? 10 years of perfectly good health. Would you guys go with Trey or would you go with Tim Hardaway?
Look, I'll be honest. I never saw Tim Hardaway play. I'm going with Trey on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, this is tough. I'm gonna go Trey Young, based off scoring ability. Tim Hardaway was really good. He was on the Warriors though, but yeah.
And by the way, I just want to say, sorry, go ahead, Ben. Sorry, I'll let
you. This is a tough one. I'm gonna say slight edge Trey Young just because of the ability to score, not just pass. I think Trey Young is really underrated with his like ability to casually get 30 and 10. And
casual, that's a good way of describing it. He does do it like very sneaky. Those numbers.
And that's so hard to do. And he finally has like he hasn't had a good deep team since they made it to the conference finals in 2021.
Was so I'm that curious team actually good, or was it just
they were deep? They weren't good. They did have depth though. They did have depth.
They had Lou Williams. They had Lou Williams on their team. They had
Lou Williams. Gallinari was still hanging around. They had Bogdanovich. They had Horter was good. Yeah, they didn't have a good second option, but they had depth. Yeah. And I think that they sort of have a similar iteration of that. Better second option, and if Jalen Johnson stays healthy. But I'm curious to see what he can do this year with a more talented roster. But I feel bad. I've always felt bad for him because he's gotten a knock, but the roster construction has been terrible down there.
I do want to applaud the Atlanta Hawks because they really did do a great job this offseason. They got Porzingis for Georges Niang, essentially. Terrence Mann, that's a steal.
That's probably his best teammate, number 2 option, right? Would you say?
Yeah.
Honestly, don't sleep on the guy was really.
Jalen Johnson is really good too. Yeah,
Jalen Johnson is really good, but Ricochet.
I think he's a high-end role player. I don't think he's going to be anything special.
He was looking all right at the end of the year. I feel like he found his rhythm. Yeah, they've got some good young talent with Jalen Johnson, Ricochet, and I mean their issue is going to be kind of like a consistent second or third option, but they've got incredible defenders in Daniels, and they got Nikhil Walker. Yeah. So they're going to be good. I mean, they're the East is a hot mess right now, but they're a team that could. There's about 4 or 5 teams in the finals.
But honestly, the Hawks, their biggest acquisition was getting the trade pick from the New Orleans Pelicans, where they were able to flip. And by the way, going back to Zion, I feel bad for him because that team makes no sense right now.
And
getting that pick, getting the pick swap.
Also, the dude they got at 23 is really good. He went to Georgia. He played high school.
Fleming, right?
No, Powell or something. I want to say. He went to high school with. But they had a guy fall to 23 that I think is gonna contribute right away.
Yeah, getting that pick swap. Yeah.
So back on the task, I'm going to say Tim Hardaway Jr.
Oh. Senior.
Wait,
senior. My bad. I think you're going to get. Remember when we did this episode? Right. He missed like a whole season.
Yeah.
Like a knee surgery. Right in his prime.
And then he wasn't the same afterwards.
Yeah. So we're getting 10 years of prime Tim Hardaway Sr., one of the best point guards, known for his crossovers, who did have a 3-point shot as well as Trey Young. Tim Hardaway Sr. could fill it up from deep. So
Right.
I'm going to go Tim Hardaway Sr. right here.
I think you're all by yourself this time, buddy, because I'm going with Trey Young. I think Trey Young,
Yeah.
his range is longer. Probably maybe not as quick as Tim Hardaway, and they have different types of crossover moves, but the lob threat that Trey Young has I think is unmatched. Besides James Harden, I don't think there's another point guard that throws lobs as good as Trey Young, and he's such an offensive threat. Defensively, he gets taken advantage of, but I'm sure Tim Hardaway was not some type of like stout defender on defense. But yeah, I think I'll go. I think it's 3-1 in favor of Trey Young. All right, let's go to episode 35. We have Jaylen Brown and Andre Iguodala, 2 MVPs of the finals, 2 very cerebral off the court players, NBA player union reps or whatever title they had. But who would you go with? 10 years of good health.
You know how I really pushed for that Tim Duncan and Nikola Jokic episode? I was the opposite in this one. I did not. I was not the biggest fan of.
Yeah, we know. We've heard it 1,000 times.
Well, I wasn't sure if the fans knew. But that being said, I'm going to go Jaylen Brown. I just think he's a better overall player.
Okay.
This one's tough.
Where's your loyalty, Ben?
I know. I'm gonna break my loyalty, guys, and I'm gonna go similar to what Lucas said. Jaylen Brown. I just think the offense is a little bit, not a little bit. It's
a lot
better. Yeah,
it's quite a lot
better.
Yeah, when Jaylen Brown's locked in, he can't really miss. There's a little bit more playmaking, just overall like a little bit more natural guard skill. And the shooting's better. Obviously, Iguodala can guard 1 through 5. Jaylen Brown, though, is a good defender, though. Like,
he is.
That Celtics team. So I would say Jaylen Brown, just because the offense is quite a bit better.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm curious to see how he's going to handle being the true number 1 on Celtics with Jason Tatum out.
Yeah, I want to
all those guys.
It's funny because that's exactly what I'm going to talk about when we talk about who we're excited about next season. I'm going to segue into that.
Okay.
I think people are sleeping on them next year. Not to be a contender, but I don't think they'll be that bad.
No. I'm going to go Jaylen Brown as well. I think the only thing Iguodala has over him is maybe clutch moments.
And playmaking.
Yeah, I'll give that too. But overall, I think Jaylen Brown is simply the better player. If I'm drafting right now, I got the number 1 pick. I'm going to take Jaylen Brown over Andre Iguodala.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I got to go. Actually, I don't know. I think Iguodala is a better defender. Would you guys agree with that?
He's a more versatile defender.
He is a better defender. I think,
but he's not like significantly better.
I would say like his ability to guard bigs is. Lucas is right. Like Jaylen Brown's an underrated defender because he's on a team of such good defenders. But
imagine this is the difference them defensively, where Andre's a little better. This is the difference between them offensively.
Yeah, but is Jaylen Brown a better passer? Is he on the same level of passing?
No.
Okay.
No.
So, I mean, Iggy never. I think he averaged the highest he ever averaged was 19.9 points a game.
Jaylen Brown has averaged like 26 points per game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is a better shooter.
All right, fair enough. All right, episode 36, we compared Chris Mullin and Klay Thompson.
It's Klay. It's Klay.
It's Klay? Even though you didn't grow up watching Chris Mullin? Have you even seen him play?
Look. At the end of the day, Klay Thompson scored 60 points with only 8 dribbles. I don't think outside of 68? Steph Curry. No, he scored 60 points on 8 dribbles.
Oh, I thought you said 68. I'm like, whoa.
No. The guy, look, outside of Steph Curry and, I would say outside of Steph Curry, Ray Allen, and Reggie Miller, he's the 4th best shooter in NBA history. You cannot argue that with me. I will stand on that hill and die.
Okay. All right. Die on the hill if you can, if you must.
I'm gonna go Chris Mullin. Kind of like when we dug into the research of the Tim Hardaway, that it's interesting because that Warriors team is one of the more fascinating teams that doesn't get talked about enough because they I guess Chris Webber kind of broke it up. But they hit on like every pick. It was like starting with Chris Mullin, right? It was Chris Mullin, then it was Hardaway, then it was Mitch Richmond, or somewhere in that order. And
I think Richmond came before Tim Hardaway, I think.
And I just want to say Mullin wasn't even a 3-point shooter when he first came in.
No, but he could score. His numbers, Mullin's numbers, we talk about like what we have to do some like research when we go into some of these. His numbers were really impressive. And yeah, I didn't realize how good he was. So I think like at their peak, in my opinion, I get that Klay Thompson's an incredible shooter, but he was always a second or third option. And kind of wide open, if we're being real, other than when Steph Curry was like hurt. Chris Mullin had other good offensive options, but I think Chris Mullin for a few years was the number one option on those teams. So I'm going to go Chris Mullin. I just think at his peak was better than Klay Thompson.
This was actually tougher than I thought, but I'm going to go Klay.
Thank you.
I just
Thank you.
Lucas is justified. I'm going to go Klay. I mean, the 8 dribbles for 60 points. What was it? The 38 points in a quarter. Nobody got hot like Klay Thompson. And it's crazy because they're Splash Brothers, but Klay Thompson is one of the greatest shooters of all time, too. This stuff. Yeah. So Klay was just a very efficient scorer, one of maybe even the most efficient scorer in NBA history. We have to look at the data on that one. Mm-hmm. But for Klay Thompson to be the ultimate catch and shoot shooter to 2-3, and then on top of that, he was a really good when he was in his prime. A really good defender. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A really good two-way player overall that just happened to be a great shooter. It's too much going on for Klay. I'm picking Klay Thompson.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chris Mullin just to piss off Lucas.
That's fair. I get it. Pissing off me is fun. I get it. But you're wrong.
Well, his jump shot, the only thing I'll give Mullin over Klay is the form. His jump shot form is sweet. And the one other thing that Klay will never have over Chris Mullin is he didn't play with the greatest basketball team ever assembled in the Dream Team. But I think Klay.
I don't know. Some young Warriors fans will say that KD Steph Curry team was better.
Better than the Dream Team?
Have you not? At my job, I have had students say that.
Oh, students. Okay.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they have no clue.
The thing I know, Chris Mullin just said he had 2 seasons in the 89 and 90 season where he averaged like 27, 6-5, 26, 6-4. So I mean, he put up. I mean, Klay I guess could have put up better numbers, but.
Mm-hmm. All right, now we have 2 forwards who are very versatile, different style of games. We compared in episode 37 Lamar Odom to Pascal Siakam. If you had to choose between these players in the same draft, who would you go with?
Look, I know I might get some hate here, but I'm actually going Pascal Siakam. I think Lamar Odom was a little bit I think he was too passive. Look, if Lamar Odom had like Kobe's mentality, right, or like even a fraction of Kobe's mentality, like his mentality is closer to Ben Simmons than Kobe Bryant's. That's the way
I agree with that.
I'm gonna say
I agree with that.
I think that if he was actually aggressive, he could have. He would have definitely made all-star, probably all NBA, maybe even an MVP. But he didn't want that in life, and that's fine.
So you're going with Siakam, all right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Siakam proved to be a player on two separate teams to be this arguably second or third best player on an NBA Finals team.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's Siakam. I think this is one of those ones that after we did this, we kind of saw Siakam's playoff run. Obviously, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Had the Pacers won, he probably would have been Finals MVP. And I think with Siakam, he doesn't put up crazy numbers. You're not going to see 40 points, but you're going to see amazing two-way play. And especially in the Knicks series, I don't know if you guys remember how he was defending Cat. It was pretty sick. And then his switchability, you kind of take it for granted how like athletic and long he is, 6'8", 6'9". yeah, he can legit guard 1 through 5, and he's just he's kind of clutch, and they had sort of a 1A 1B thing going on with him and Halliburton, and it's definitely Siakam because it's funny.
But when Halliburton went down, Ben, would you agree that Siakam kind of disappeared when he probably should have stepped up?
Look, when you lose your best player, the guy that engines your whole entire team in the middle of a game 7, I think that threw everybody for a shock, and I don't think any team would be. I think they're way to bounce back from that.
And you're right. I think they're kind of like they're everything was clicking for the Pacers, man. Like everyone was every kind of like former G League player was like shooting lights out. Whereas
You're talking OKC, you say everything.
The Pacers were playing out their mind. So I think that game 7 was more of like outside of TJ McConnell, people just sort of finally playing at their level. Where the Thunder just like finally like were hitting a 3,
And to be fair, Siakam was the only player that the Thunder didn't really have a strong answer for.
Yeah.
If you'd have asked me this question before the NBA Finals, I would have said Odom. But after the Finals, I'm going to say Siakam.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think, but see, Lamar Odom can be a glue guy.
He didn't have the killer mentality, dude.
But do you need to have that?
He kind of did. I mean, he played well in those finals.
I'm not saying that he didn't play well, but like he could have been like a Magic Johnson-esque, like he could have been a multi-time All-Star. He never won All-Star. His biggest accomplishment was 6th Man of the Year. Like he could have been like if he had the aggression, he could have been better. That's my thing. He never had the aggression.
Yep.
That's not his mentality.
Yeah. I'm torn. I think
skill wise he should be better, but
I'm gonna go with Lamar Odom. I'm just gonna go against the grain. I just think that he's just as good as offensively, but mentality is one thing. I think I would go with Odom. How about maybe not so much. Who would you? No, I think we know. Are we all going Rodman on this?
I mean, as long as we're talking about actual play on the court, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We're not talking about shenanigans. Because I'd rather deal with Andre Drummond's shenanigans off the court than Dennis Rodman's.
You wouldn't want to see Andre Drummond in the ring with, I don't know, one of those wrestlers, the Undertaker,
Karl Malone and Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, we can. This is a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Just for defense alone, we did this comparison for rebounds, but we know that Rodman is a better defender. And by the way, I put out a video of Rodman's 3-point shooting recently. It was always fun watching him shoot threes because the crowd would tense up and they'd be like, "Oh my God, he's going to shoot it!" And you'd actually knock him down. Should have trained with Ben Simmons, but anyway. Speaking of 3-pointers, we got Grayson Allen, and we compared him to JJ Redick, episode 39. Check it out. Very similar players in more ways than one. So, what do you guys think?
I think this should also be clean sweep. I think this should be JJ, and I don't think. It's not.
It's JJ.
Yeah.
Is it JJ?
Yes.
Yes.
Do not overthink this Uriah.
No, the reason why I'm saying it's more to consider because I think Allen can get to the basket a little bit better and finish better.
But JJ's a better shooter.
That by what? Like 2 percentage points?
I don't care. I'd rather. Who would you trust in clutch time, JJ or Grayson Allen?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And you're gonna get at least 1 or 2 ejections a year from Grayson Allen.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's on the court. That's on the court.
All right, so another consensus. We are going JJ Redick. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what? On season 2, we had a lot of Sixers.
I wonder
that was just by accident. That was just by accident.
Yeah,
it was just by accident. All right. We got two lefty, another former Sixer here, Derek Coleman. But who would you guys go with? Would you pick Derek Coleman or would you pick who is that? I can't even.
Julius Randle.
Julius Randle. I could. I don't know.
Wow.
No, because I'm so used to him being in the Knicks uniform. I'm sorry. I'm still used to him being.
Well, he
in
just
New York.
re-signed with the Timberwolves for like 3 more years and 99 mil or something like that. Something around that. That's not the exact number, but it's close to it.
I feel.
I'm going to say Julius Randle here. Never really saw too much of Derek Coleman, but I know that Julius Randle can average 25 and 12 and 5 on his best years, so and shoot like 38% from 3. So yeah.
So I'm a little. Maurice probably can relate. You're right. You probably can too. I'm a little scarred from like early Iverson's iteration of Derek Coleman is not like Syracuse Nets Derek Coleman, right? Like,
yeah.
And he showed flashes, like his skill was unbelievable, but he I think he had some injuries, knee stuff.
He definitely had some injuries.
So I hate that I don't really have the experience of seeing early Coleman, but I think Julius Randle, you got to go with him. I think he's done a little bit more in his career and is a little bit more. That's tough. I think he's got a little bit more athletic ability and skill.
Okay.
So slightly Julius Randle for me.
Yeah, I'm going to go Julius Randle as well. Derek Coleman's prime was really short. I mean, early Nets until they got to the Sixers. After the Sixers, his prime was over.
Yeah.
What do you say, right? Whoop-de-damn-do.
Whoop-de-damn-do.
I'm going to go Julius Randle. We've already seen him play more years at a high level than what Derek Coleman did in his career. So if you're going to project 10 years, I'd rather have 10 years of Julius Randle.
Okay. Yeah, I think they both are the same player. I mean, in terms of how they played. But I think skill-wise, I think maybe Randle has a little bit more under his belt. I think he's maybe a better playmaker. But DC, when he's with the Nets, like you guys alluded to, Ben, he was a monster. And when he got to Philly, it was like, all right, third best player on the team.
Well, yeah, and I remember watching it, and they'd be like, he was so good, and I'm like, it was like, it sucks that that was such like a Iverson storyline. All these players, like they were good 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's the Sixers in a nutshell. So,
yep.
Episode 41, we had a special guest co-host. We had Chris Wild with us on this one, and we compared Kawhi Leonard to Scottie Pippen. So, played the same position. One arguably as I guess a heftier bag offensively, but both great defensive players. But you got to pick one. Who would you go with?
I'm going Kawhi. I mean, he got 2 Finals MVPs, and he's the defense of Scottie, but the offense of MJ when he's locked in and actually healthy, which has been very rare.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I agree with Lucas. That comp of like a combination of those 2 Chicago Bulls players. It's too bad he's sort of we have a player like this. Yeah, it's too bad the health kind of gets in the way, but at his peak, I think it's Kawhi. I think you can't stop him on either end. It's tough though, because Scottie Pippen. Yeah, I don't know, because the durability does matter. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they get 10 years of good health, so durability is not.
Then I'm going Kawhi. Kawhi. Yeah.
Okay.
So, overall, Kawhi was the better player, but when you take into account the 10 years of health, see the thing with Scottie was Scottie never had like a long-term injury. He just had like a migraine one, playoff.
That's a pretty bad migraine.
Another playoff
At the wrong time.
Scottie never had like a real long-term injury, whereas Kawhi has multiple seasons of long-term injuries.
See, you guys keep on saying Scottie, and it makes me think of my millennials that are listening are going to get the reference here. It makes me think of the song that Scottie doesn't know.
That was like Scotty Barnes. Yeah.
Yes,
well, if we're talking Scotty Barnes, honestly, him and Iggy would have been my preferred comp, but
All right.
You still bringing that up? Oh my god! Let it go, man.
My daughter might be 6, but I am not letting it go like Frozen.
Gotta let it go like Frozen. So wait, who are you going with, Maurice?
Kawhi.
I'm going to be different. I'm going to say Scottie Pippen, and here's why. Even though the year that Michael Jordan was not there, Scottie Pippen increase his scoring average, and I think he led the team in almost every statistical category.
Yep.
Helped carry that team to the conference finals. So he proved that he could be the man. He proved that he could be the man. I think defensively, he's just as locked down as Kawhi. Kawhi probably has a more accurate mid-range jump shot, but Scottie was a better passer than Kawhi. I think we could all agree with that. So I would actually go with Scottie because he can get everyone involved. And I think that we got one more episode. We did.
I was not here for this one.
Okay, well we get you to chime in on this, and we compared Vlade Divac to Alperen Sengun. So who are we going with?
I guess we're gonna go with Sengun because I know he has a higher career average than Vlade, and I don't know if Vlade does anything significantly better than him in any other category. So I'm gonna say Sengun.
Yeah, Sengun for me too. Just kind of a better version of him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like then this comparison was so good because they're very similar.
Right.
Their games are pretty much similar. If you're just going to tell me Sengun's going to give me better statistics from the same type player, then I'm going to go Sengun.
Yeah, Vlade offensively could pretty much do the same. I think he might be better defensively. So I think for that, you don't know about that one?
No, he is better defensively.
Yeah, young Vlade. Okay,
yeah, young Vlade. Yeah,
Lakers Vlade. All right.
Yeah,
but
he was
Sacramento,
a good rim protector. He's a good rim protector. So yeah, they're essentially the same players. A really good comparison, both European players. But at the end of the day, I would probably go with Vlade.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps up all of our season 2 comparisons. If you're listening and you want to recap, we compared Alperen Sengun to Vlade Divac. We did a Scottie Pippen to Kawhi Leonard comparison, Derek Coleman to Julius Randle, Grayson Allen to JJ Redick, Dennis Rodman to
Andre Drummond.
Andre Drummond. Almost said Andre Rison, but anyway, it's not football. How do you confuse Andre Rison and Andre Drummond? Anyway, we also compared Lamar Odom to Pascal Siakam, Chris Mullin to Klay Thompson, Lucas's favorite, Andre Iguodala to Jaylen Brown, Trae Young to Tim Hardaway Sr., not Junior Maurice, Paul George to T-Mac. We compared Barkley to Zion, Tracy Mamaxi. No, Tyrese Maxey and John Wall. Adebayo to Alonzo Mourning. Duncan to Jokic. CP3 to Jason Kidd. Larry Markkinen to Dirk Nowitzki. And season 2's first episode was Anthony Edwards to Dwayne Wade. So we're almost done. Give us 5 minutes because we're going to preview season 3. Here we go.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Let's do. So if you're watching this, you have a sneak peek into our season 3, and we have a lot of classic comparisons. We compare players of today versus players yesterday, and then in the mix, in the green cells, those are either Hall of Fame episodes or special category. So out of all these episodes, which one are we looking forward to most? We're actually going to start with Ben this time.
And before Ben goes, Uriah, you can let the audience know the Hall of Fame episodes, are they going to be on Patreon?
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, if you want to access our exclusive content, like Hall of Fame episodes where we compared, for instance, Magic Johnson to Pistol Pete Maravich, Patrick Ewing to Duncan, Patrick Ewing to David Robinson. We also compared Bill Russell to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You can get those episodes either on Patreon and become an exclusive member, or you can actually become a member and access those episodes through Apple subscription. Now we definitely have more of those coming next season, but let's go ahead and go with Ben first. Which episode are you looking forward to most?
I'm going to go just kind of current players. So, I mean, they're all current, but I'm kind of curious about the Franz Wagner. I don't know much about Tom Chambers. I love him.
Tom Chambers was a problem.
No, that's what I mean.
Oh, you know about Tom Chambers.
My favorite player we researched that was a like monster, Rick Barry. Those numbers were, that guy was a monster. I'm gonna go Derek White, Joe Dumars. Love a two-way player. I think Derek White may have an all-star year in him, given that he's going to be the second option. Okay. And I'm really excited to kind of see him in that position. I think obviously the Celtics kind of imploded with the Tatum injury and getting off contracts, but I think Derek White and Jaylen Brown with Peyton Pritchard, I still think in this East, that's like maybe a 5 or a 6 seed.
Right.
And so I'm curious to see his numbers. And then with that, because of his defense, I'm really excited to compare that to Joe Dumars. I was always a big fan of his Detroit. And so I'm excited. I'm excited for that one because they're both elite two-way guys. Kind of like not very loud on their teams, but very important. So yeah, I'm excited to see that.
All right. Maurice, which season 3 episode are you looking forward to most coming up?
Actually, it's the very last episode scheduled for season 3.
Okay.
Russell Westbrook, Oscar Robertson, the two kings of the triple double. What can we not say about both of these players? At least Westbrook in his prime, and when we do our comparisons, Lucas highlights the best season statistically. Russell Westbrook in his prime with OKC was a monster. I mean, you're getting all of that from a 6'4" player who was athletic as they come. He was like Ja Morant before Ja Morant.
Right.
Or athletically. And he can facilitate, he can rebound, and overall just a high-end competitor. Comparing him to Oscar Robertson, who in his day was pretty much the same thing I just said about Westbrook.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same thing. He's one of the GOATs. So we're comparing two players who can pretty much do everything on the basketball court from two eras, and that's kind of like what the name of this whole podcast is. Now and then. That's what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, look, great choices, guys. Anybody that's listening to the pod knows that I like big men and I like the defensive big men. We're gonna go Ben Wallace and Ben Wallace and Mark Eden, two of arguably the best defensive guys during their eras.
You picked this episode, by the way.
I did. Well, we talked about it because we were trying to find a Ben Wallace comp.
Yeah, it was hard to find one. To find one.
Well, it's funny because like Ben Wallace is like 6'9" maybe, and then Mark Eden's like 7'3".
Like 6'6", 6'7".
Well, they have him listed at like 6'9".
Yeah.
Like, and Mark Eden's like 7'3". So like,
but defensive presences, rebounding
was
Do you even know what Mark Eden looks like? I'm just curious.
Oh, he's like Bill Walton in the 70s.
He looks like the brawny.
I remember,
like the Amish beard and like blondish hair.
He's got
the
beard.
Yeah.
What team was he on?
Utah.
It was Utah guy. That's right.
Yeah.
I almost said Al Horford and Robert Parrish. Not gonna lie though, I think
Mark Eden passed away about a year ago.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Clark
was. He's one of the players who you would never think won a Defensive Player of the Year award. But he won a Defensive Player of the Year award. Me and Lucas really had to dig deep for a comparison for Ben Wallace. And overall, if you put all the statistics together, physically they're not comparable. But when you put all the statistics together,
they're pretty close.
Pretty close.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The Mark Eaton, Ben Wallace episode. And then the Westbrook episode is going to be interesting, Maurice, because I think I read somewhere today that he's only 505 points away from becoming the all-time leading scorer amongst point guards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And look, Westbrook averaged a triple-double, and no one had done that. Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
And no one had broken that record until he did, and the record was broken. It was Oscar Robertson. So did I put Oscar Robinson? It's supposed to be Robertson. Let me do a quick. It's Robertson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got it.
Yeah,
It's spelled,
okay.
Yeah.
I always get that mixed up. All right.
The
So
big
Oscar
O.
Robertson.
This is going to be a good season. We got some like the Rasheed Wallace
some good
and
ones.
Carl Anthony Towns.
That's going to be a good one too. I mean, the
Yeah.
top two. Come on, guys, like Victor and Will and Shaq. And what about you, Uriah? What's your favorite?
I love the Moses Malone and Shaq comparison because Shaq is literally everywhere. If there is any omnipresent figure in show business, basketball, sports, it's Shaq. I went into a 7-Eleven one time and the guy had his own soda drink and he's buying up franchises and he's a star on TNT. Well, not anymore, but
ESPN now.
ESPN. And then Moses Malone, I just interviewed, just by the way, if you want to check out our recent interview of 50, 40, 90 series, Paul Nepper wrote a biography about Moses, and he's going to be joining us for that episode. But I just think Moses deserves more credit where credit is due. 3-time MVP. That's a huge deal. And he dominated in the 70s and early 80s. But Shaq, you look at his dominance, he was equally as dominant when Moses had retired. So yeah, these are the episodes for season 3. Please look out for the rest of the summer for the schedule, which will be coming up. To be determined is all about the dates. We will be starting season 3 the same week as the NBA season in November. Is it October or November? I can't remember.
October. Yeah, mid-October. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So our first live stream, we were on YouTube. We were on not Facebook. Facebook was giving me problems. We were on X or Twitter.
Yep.
And we'll do some more of these. Anything you guys want to?
I think our next one live episode should be when we do our fantasy basketball draft.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm also just a unshamelessly plug 14 rings. Our next live episode will be our fantasy football draft, which will be next month, Maurice. So be ready.
Also, I wouldn't the comparing the draft classes might be a good live.
Ooh, the 09, 2011, 2009 draft.
Yeah, that might be a good. It seems very like I don't know, inclusive in a way to everyone because like it's not too far away. People, I think, might.
Maybe Lucas. Maybe we can do a poll this summer of which episodes do the people want to see a live episode. We let the people decide.
Yeah,
I will put it on Facebook. You guys put it on everywhere else.
Yeah, let's do it.
Power to the people.
Power to the people. All right, so we got this episode coming out, and we're actually going to be doing, and Ben's going to love this, we're going to be doing a movie review, one of the most iconic basketball movies in the history of cinema. We are going to be doing a movie review of Space Jam. So be on the lookout for that. And
the original.
The one with MJ, obviously. Yeah. So that'll be interesting. I can't say we're going to do that live. We would have to really coordinate for that. But that being said, thanks for showing up. Check us out on all social media. We're on all platforms. Check out our website, www.nbanowandthen.com, to figure out how to sign up for all the exclusive content that we just alluded to. So that being said, on behalf of Lucas, Ben, and Maurice, I'm Uriah. Peace, guys.
Deuces.
Later.
Deuces.